Hello everybody and welcome back to the Finny Barbar channel. Today I'll be ranking and reviewing every monster and villain in the Scooby-Doo Show. As you can see, there is a fair amount of villains and a lot of them are recognizable, but unfortunately some of them are just a little bit bland. If you could smash that like button down below, it would be greatly appreciated, and if your list is different than mine, I'd be interested in hearing about it in the comment section down below. But this is my list, I'd love to hear your opinions as well. So without any further ado, let's get on with the 10,000 volt ghost from What a Shocking Ghost, and this is easily a godly tier monster. It's very recognizable, one of the best in the series and the Scooby-Doo mythos as a whole. Showed up in Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed for a little bit of a cameo, which was nice to see. Now we have Anthos from the Warlock of Wimbledon, and it's meh. His costume's a little bit funny, but he doesn't really do much. Next, we have the Aztec statue monster from the Fiesta Host is an Aztec ghost, and that's alright. It's cool we get some Aztec sort of culture in the show, but it doesn't really do much as he's not the main villain of that episode. Next, we have the Beast of the Bottomless Lake, and this is quite a cool monster, I like it. I've always had a fascination with sort of the sea-dwelling monsters, and I think it looks really nice, especially in this animation style. And it's actually from the same episode of the same name of the monster. Next we have Black Knight, and this isn't the original Black Knight, this is from Scared a Lot in Camelot, which is sort of the newer Black Knight, which it's meh, it's alright, it's not as good as the original and classic Black Knight, but, you know, he does what he's trying to do. Next, we have the Cat Creature from Make a Beeline Away from That Feline, and that's alright, I like his little red scarf, and he, you know, gives off that cat kind of vibe, and I like it a lot. Next, we have the Chocolate Technicolor Phantom from the Ghost of the Bad Humor Man, and this is one of the, you know, the vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry ghosts that we will get to later on, but this is the chocolate one, and he's good, I like it, a pretty well-known villain, especially his design is used a lot, but it is just a revamped and recolored design of earlier monsters. Next, we have the Creepy Heap from the Deep from the same episode, the Creepy Heap from the Deep. Now, this is an alright monster. I like it. I like how it's only one eye and gives it a little bit more variety in the show. Next, we have the Demon Shark, and this is actually my favorite monster ever. The Demon Shark from There's a Demon Shark in the Foggy Dark is my favorite episode of Scooby-Doo ever, and this is my favorite monster ever. I highly recommend checking out this episode, it's great fun, personal favourite of mine. So that's easily a godly tier. Next we have Demon from A Frightened Hound Meets Demon Underground, and it's alright as well, I guess. He's very demon as what they were going for, I guess. He's very red, but I do like the colour scheme of the different shades of red. Next we have the Futuristic Monster from Creepy Cruise, and he's trash. Let's be real, he's just a bug, and he looks really odd, and I've never been a fan of him. Never been one of my personal favourites, and he's just really annoying. Next, we have the Ghost of Benedict Arnold from The Spirits of 76, and this is from an episode which seems to be kind of filler, and it's trash. It's just some sort of, you know, figures that are ghosts, and that's all they have going for them. They're not scary, they're not trying to do anything out of the ordinary, they're just sort of there, they don't have any extra costumes, they're just men. Next, we have Ghost of Captain Pistachio from Scooby-Doo Where's the Crew, and he's meh. He's alright, I guess. The other monsters in the show are a lot better than him, especially in the episode he's in, but he does what he's supposed to do as the ringleader, but definitely one of the least better looking character in that episode. Next we have Ghost of Dr. Coffin from the Harum Scarum Sanatorium, and I love this guy. This guy used to scare me so much as a kid. His laugh, he was just really creepy all over. Even now, he still just has a really creepy design, and he's a godly tier monster. Next we have Ghost of Finnian Macduff from A Highland Fling with a Monstrous Thing. And once again, you'll see throughout this series, we have a lot of just men as ghosts. That's really all we've got. There's not a lot of variation with the ghosts in this series, but, you know, it does get better with a lot of the animal type monsters. Next, we have the Ghost of the Gator Ghoul, and that's another great monster. He's from the gruesome game of the Gator Ghoul, and he's phenomenal. He shows up in other medias as well, especially later down the line in Scooby-Doo books and comics, but he is definitely one of my personal favourite monsters. I do like him a lot. Next, we have the ghost of Juan Carlos from Don't Go Near the Fortress of Fear. He's alright, I guess, just another guy. There's a ghost. Just a lot of them, really, in this series. Next, we have Ghost of King Katsumuza from the Feast. Esther is a Aztec ghost, and yeah, he's alright. He's the ringleader from the Aztec statue monster episode, but, you know, he does what he's trying to do as being the ringleader in an Aztec costume. Next, we have another ghost from the Spirits of 76, and that is Major Andre. And once again, boring. He doesn't do much. He's just another ghost man. Next, we have Ghost of Merlin from Scared-a-Lot and Camelot, and this is actually one of the good ghosts from this show. I actually quite like Merlin, as sort of a character from, you know, mythology and stuff, and I find him very interesting, and seeing him in the Scooby-Doo show was definitely a nice surprise. Next, we have Ghost of Nettie Crab from the High Rise Hair Raiser, and she's alright. I guess she's probably one of the most well-known ones in this show that aren't one of the main villains, but she's definitely one that is seen a lot. Next, we have Ghost of William Demont from The Spirits of 76, and once again, it's bad. I believe it's one of the better looking monsters from that episode, one of the better looking ghosts, but once again, it's just boring, and not much is done with him. Next, we have Ghost Witch of Old Salem to Switch a Witch, and she's quite cool. I like how she's got a different ghost sort of witch design than most witches do, and I respect that. I like the little bit of purple and green. It does look kind of nice. Next, we have Ghost of Witch McCoy from the Ozark Witch Switch, which it's meh. I mean, it looks kind of odd. It looks pretty much like Nettie Crab, but, you know, it's alright. I guess they were reusing designs back then. Next, we have the Ghostly Gondolier from A Menace in Venice, and this guy's great. He really looks awesome. He really gives off that scary vibe when they're in Venice, and I do like the episode as a whole. It is very entertaining. Next, we have Gorilla from the No Face Zombie Chase, which is it's alright. I guess it's just a man in a gorilla suit, but not much really to be said about him. Next, we have Gramps the Vamp from Vampire Bats and Scaredy Cats, and he's meh. I guess he's your, generic vampire in this series, but, he's alright. He does what he tries to do, and he does look a little bit different from the other vampires we have throughout Scooby history. Next, we have the Headless Horseman from the Headless Horseman of Halloween, and he's great. I love it when a Headless Horseman shows up in Scooby-Doo, and they really nailed this one. He's great. I like the jack-o'-lantern and the classic sort of coat that we have for him. Next, we have another very famous villain, is the Jaguar, which is great. I love him. He's sort of like a cat and a jaguar and a ape kind of combination, and he looks great. He shows up in heaps of stuff, especially in Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase when he shows up in that game, which is also a movie. Next, we have Kelp Creature from Scooby-Doo Where's the Crew, and yeah, one of the better monsters from the Where's the Crew episode. I do like this one. I like how it's luminescent, but you don't really see much of him at all, which is unfortunate. Next, we have the Loch Ness Monster, which I liked to see in the Loch Ness Monster in a Scooby-Doo episode. Obviously, we get the very famous Loch Ness Monster movie later down the line, but this is before that, and it does what it set out to do, giving off that sort of mysterious vibe of whether it could or could not be real. Next, we have Mamba Wamba, which I thought was a very good episode. It was very funny, very well known for this season, one of the most well known, and they actually take inspiration from this episode for Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, which is good, and if you watch both of those back to back, you will definitely see inspiration, which I find very interesting. Next, we have the Mamba Zombie, and he's alright. He's just your generic zombie, but recolored in the Mamba style. He looks alright, I guess. Could be better, but it's just what it is. Next, we have Mantis from the Creepy Creature of the Vulture's Claw, and he's trash. Let's be real. It doesn't really look like a mantis. It looks more like a bird, but it's alright. It's not great. Episode's boring, but next we have the Medicine Man Ghost, and this guy looks exactly like the guy from the Witch Doctor in the original Scooby-Doo series, and you can definitely tell they stole this design from that episode directly and just recolored it, which is disappointing, but I guess this was very early on in the Scooby-Doo life where they weren't really expecting how well it was going to go. Next, we have the Moon Monster, and he's meh as well. He's just a big hulking brute. I guess that's one of the only big characters we have in the show, but, he doesn't really do much. Next, we have the No-Face Zombie, and this guy's good as well. I like how they, mix it up with the design, and I like how it's a purple and grey colour scheme. We don't really get that much often, but I do like it a lot. Next, we have the Octopus Monster from the Scooby-Doo Where's the Crew, and it's alright. He's a little small, and, you don't see him much as well, just like the Kelp Creature, but his design is alright, definitely better than the Captain's. Next, we have another very famous monster, is the Old Iron Face from the Creepy Case of Old Iron Face, and he's great. I loved Old Iron Face when he rode the sharks and his creepy mask. I thought it was great. It was a very, very engaging episode. And obviously he shows up down the road as well in later Scooby-Doo comics, books, and movies. Next we have the Almond, and they're alright, I guess. They're just the minions of the willowa, but, they do what they're set out to do and just cause mischief while the gang is hunting down the main villain. Next we have the Phantom of Milo Booth, and he's trash. He's just another one of those ghosts that doesn't really have much going for him. At least he does look a little bit different and a little bit better than the ghost from the Spirit of 76, but that's about it. Next we have the Phantom Racer, and he's alright, I guess. You can tell they definitely took inspiration from him for the later down the road What's New Scooby-Doo episode, where they end up doing a racing episode, but I guess that set the stones for that episode, and he looks alright. I like the blue colour scheme. Next we have just Phantom, which definitely takes inspiration from Kiss, and I do like that they've done that. There's a lot of signs towards the Joker and Kiss in this, which I find very, very entertaining. Next we move on to the Pterodactyl Ghost, and once again, this is a good monster. This shows up in the Scooby-Doo 2 movie as one of the main villains, and I highly recommend checking out that movie and checking out this beforehand so that you know where the monsters come from. Next, we have the Rambling Ghost, and he's sort of a football kind of villain. He's alright. He doesn't really do much. He's just a quarterback, but, he does what he set out to do and have that sport theme going on in the Scooby-Doo show. Next, we have the Skellington Men, and they also show up in the Scooby-Doo 2 movie, and they're alright. As you can see, their design is definitely different from the movie counterparts, and I prefer their design here, actually, personally. I like how they're very simplistic. Next, we have the Snow Beast, and the Snow Beast looks awesome. He's very different to your normal Yeti you have in the Scooby-Doo shows, but he does look awesome. He's crossed with like a dinosaur and a dragon and a Yeti, and it's very awesome. Next, we have the Soulless Captain Clements, which he's cool. He's alright, I guess. Definitely better than the other ghosts we've had down in the show, but, he's quite interesting, but he is undermined by the ghost from the Creepy Deep, so, yeah. Next, we have the Specter of Evanizer Crab from the earlier episode with the other crab, and he's meh. I don't personally like this one, but I guess the color schemes are kind of nice, but pretty famous for the classic Scooby-Doo show. Now we have the Strawberry Technicolor Phantom, and another classic villain. I kind of prefer the chocolate one over this one, but, it is what it is. As you can see in both those photos, they are very much similar, just changed the color. Next, we have the Talking Bull, and it's trash. It looks like it should be a Scooby and Shaggy costume design, which they do use a talking bull, but compared to the next monster, Tamaka, the ghost for bull, the ghost bull, which actually shows up in the same episode, he is so undermined, and I do like the ghost bull, but compared to the talking bull, it's just kind of funny. Next, we have the Tile Monster, and obviously very famous, very popular fan favorite. I love the Tile Monster. That easily makes him a godly monster. Design, awesome. Next, we have the Vanilla Technicolor Phantom, and this one's good. I like the vanilla one. I think it looks kind of nice. Better than the strawberry one, but once again, they don't really do much. They just sort of hang out for the episode as different ice cream flavors. Next, we have the Viking Ghost leader, and he's alright. He accomplishes the look of pulling off as a Viking. It looks good. I mean, that's pretty much all I can say for it. He doesn't do much. And the same with his minions, who also do a little bit less, but, you know, it's just that nice Viking Norse look, which I do like. Next, we have the willowa, which, it's alright, I guess. He's just a big owl. He's from the Almond, with the Almond episode. He's alright. He's the main villain. Just a big flying spirit owl, but, you know. Next, we have Zombie Lila from Mamba Wamba and the Voodoo Hoodoo, and I do like Zombie Lila. It does look good, and you can definitely tell it takes inspiration for the Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island movie later on. And finally, we just have our generic zombie from the Ozark Witch Switch, and I do like how this zombie looks. It's definitely better than other zombies we've had before, and it has that little bit more of a unique look, and I definitely respect that. So there it is, there's my list of the rankings of the monsters and villains in the Scooby-Doo show. So let me know if you'd change anything, and let me know your lists. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye!